Okay, folks, I got a pretty good video for you right here, and it's a little bit of a prophetic, talking about this, and you need to really listen up because this whole thing about this is it's spreading quickly, and it's getting worse. How many of you have seen these type of shirts, whether it's this or a variant of it or whatever? How many of you have seen these like in your local stores, your department stores, as Walmart, clothing stores? They're really doing a whole lot of this here lately. And what I seen today was really disturbing for me. Now, I stopped at a store today in Florida, and this store, it's owned by people from India, you know. And I definitely don't have anything against anyone of any race of any kind, folks. I'm not racist at all. Matter of fact, even if someone has a different religion than me, I still don't criticize them. My job is to revelate the word of the Lord and then let them make up their mind for themselves. And actually, back in Leesburg, there's a guy that operates the Exxon station like you're headed toward the turnpike, and his name is KP. It operates the Exxon below the subway. And he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I mean, he's a genuine person, and he's from India. But these guys right here, they got a turn to them. I think that they're kind of racist toward the white people somewhat. They got a resentment, like that they want to, I don't know, be more financially, well off than the whites. And I think, a lot of people competes in that way. Which I think everybody should have a fair opportunity, for happiness in the country that we live in. And I have black friends myself. I have that friend from India, like I told you, and I have no problems with any of that stuff, folks. It's equal opportunity. That's the way it should be. That's what America was supposed to have been founded upon, okay? But when I walked in this store, this girl, she had one of these shirts on. And she was a white woman that worked for them, They're mostly Hindus, the ones that owns it, from India. And, they kind of don't treat her right. They kind of talk down to her and everything else. And I said, well, where did you get the shirt at? And she said, well, actually the owner here gave it to me. Said he actually gave me half a dozen or so of them. I'm like, okay. I said, has he ever give you anything before like that? She said, no, he just handed me half a dozen of them, told me to wear them whenever I work here. She said, I just think that he thought that they were cute or, attractive right there or whatever, or just something that, that would kind of be an eye attentioner, but he gave me a bunch of shirts like this just to wear here. Well, folks, that was pretty eye-opening for me. I thought, oh my Lord. Because we live in a day and age, guys, and I see it happen with you all the time, and I'm seeing it happening with this woman in this situation. That you're being mocked by the evil one, folks, and you don't realize it. You really are. And many of you, I don't know, it's just like Brother Skinner said in that last video I just uploaded, why men slept. The enemy planted this, folks. The enemy planted this. Tell you what, I've got a video from a guy that's just a very short video that'll kind of explain somewhat what's going on with this skull symbology. So hang tight, and here we go.
Basically, what they want you to do is get high and stare at this artwork until the spirit of the painting overtakes you and tells you its true meaning. Interesting. When I look at it, I clearly see two fallen angels sitting there with their hybrid offspring, teaching them how to open portals. If you look closely, you can even see tiny humans trapped in the trees, showing us just how enormous these beings really are. Walking through the pews, one of the first things you'll notice is the complete eradication of God's Word. There are no Bibles in here. Instead, we find dirty ashtrays. Now, let's take a closer look at some of these paintings and see if we can figure out who is really being glorified here. Because one thing is for sure, it's definitely not Jesus. Sitting in the center of the chapel, directly behind the altar, is a massive skull, the universal symbol for death and destruction. Skull symbolism can be traced all the way back to ancient Babylon, where skulls were used to symbolize the, quote, shining ones and their influence on the world. All throughout history, we see the use of skulls on prominent figures and organizations as a way to covertly show their allegiance to Lucifer. This practice can still be seen today. Have you ever wondered why so many celebrities are obsessed with skull symbolism? The next symbol we found was...
Okay, folks, so you got one version of it right there. But you know, there's some deeper things to this too. Now, he gave you the esoteric, what I would say, you know, a version of that. And I want to give you another version of it here in a minute. I mean, this is what they're selling, folks, and I see it everywhere. It's part of this New Age movement, guys. And I'm just going to tell you, folks, if you were a Christian and you're doing this is not pleasing to God, folks. In John chapter 4, verse 22, it says, you worship what you do not know. And I promise you, if you're doing this and you're wearing these things and you are a Christian, you are worshiping what you do not know. I tell you what this means. There's different variations of it. First of all, the symbology of the skull, it means death. Now, if we convert that, and you know how I love converting things to Greek, but we can't convert the big H, the capital H in Hindu. We can't convert that into Greek because that does not exist in the Greek language, because there's only 24 letters in the alphabet of the Greek language, and there's 26 in English. So what you have to do is, there are certain rules of variances that you have to use in talking about other things in Greek. And one of those variances is you actually use the big H, the meaning in Hinduism, for that. And so the big H, the capital H, which it does make a difference whether it's capital or lowercase, folks. The capital H means the great serpent or snake. That's what H means. And pretty much in and do is pretty much self-explanatory, folks. The great serpent entereth within, and do what thou wilt. So, you're talking demonic possession, guys. Now, this particular shirt right here was one of those sniper from Iraq. And the reason why they were wearing it is they were killing people. See, I told you it means death. See? U.S.-Iraq War, Chris Kyle. You know, the movie that he made. There he is, you know. And that's what they wore. And the reason why they wore that is why they were bringing death. Same thing, folks. It means the same thing, I promise you. And this is Hindu, folks. I mean, you know, this is the opening of the third eye. And, you know, the New Age belief that you can ascend with the chakras. And it's just all that stuff, man. I mean, you need to know what you're looking at, guys. Because many of you worship what you do not know. And how many of you know that if you are participating in yoga, you are participating in the same thing as the Hindu rituals for this stuff? It's just a different way. It's just a different deceptive way. Or, well, it's exercise. Listen, it's got customary detailing to it, folks. Okay, that's it. I think it's got customary detailing to it, and so you need to take heed to what John said. You worship what you do not know, and if you're doing that, you need to stop it. Actually, there's pictures that they make of this. Hold on one second. I'll actually find a picture of it here real quick if you guys will hang tight here just a second. Remember what I told you about the snake. Guarantee you that I can pull a picture up because it's a very common thing. Well, sure, here's one. And I mean, it's not difficult to find it. You can get on here and you can find it anywhere, folks. I used to work with a guy right there and he told me, well, do this Hindu, the yoga, yeah. I tell you what, pal, when you become demonically possessed by this stuff, you won't do it then, will you? Let's see, I got a better picture than that. Hang tight. Better picture. Maybe so. I don't want you to take up too much of your time here. But that's what it is, guys. It's this New Age movement, folks. Which I was looking for one where it twists around your vertebrae, and that's it. There's plenty of them like that. It looks like on this particular website here they backed off on that a little bit. I think that well, there's a good one. We'll do this one. No. Well, I just saw it. There it is. Boy, it's fighting me. It doesn't want me to show you this. It's telling you the truth, guys. You see it right there, don't you, folks? Twisting right up the vertebrae. Which I read one tale of a guy that said that he was listening to some of this stuff on a chant on his phone. And he said the snake actually came out of the phone. And it paralyzed him and it went up his you-know-what back there. And by the time that he was released from it, he couldn't get to it. He said it wrapped around his vertebrae. And then smacked its head into his brain. And hooked into his eyes, guys. And I said, what happened then? He said, then it threatened me that if I got rid of it, it would leave me blind the rest of my life. That's not good, folks. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just simply telling you what someone told me. But I'm making you aware of this. And this girl that had those shirts, and them handing her that, and it representing death like that, they were mocking her, folks. And I don't appreciate that. They're not going to get my business anymore. I'm not going to do that, one human being treating another that way. But you can clearly see, folks, in the days that we're living in, there's an awakening happening on both ends. It's an awakening of Satan's people, and it's an awakening of Jesus Christ. And I have come to a big awakening, and it's in Jesus Christ, folks. It's not in this stuff. I walk stride for stride with the Master, folks. I've had people tell me, you don't do that, you're being deceived, Jerry. No, I am not being deceived either, folks. I learn these things, and I'm showing you right here. They say that I'm being deceived because I know these things. I say you're being deceived because you don't know them. This girl had no idea what was going on. She was being mocked and didn't even know it, folks. What did Paul tell you, folks? Be aware of Satan's devices lest he take advantage of you. So whoever come up with this idea that you're not supposed to know what you're looking at, I don't know who come up with that. That's a stupid way of looking at things, if you ask me. But thank you for seeing my video, and listen, this series that I'm doing on the police state in America, you need to watch that, and you need to stay tuned, because I've got my own video coming up on that, and I'm going to tell you something else about that. I'm going to prove to you that the police here in the United States is not who you think they are. They're not even the United States police. So you need to stay tuned. You need to watch, and you need to stay tuned, because you're really going to be shocked. And I'm going to put my video out probably Monday. All right, thank you much.